Voluntary Virtues Network. Every Saturday, 9 p.m. Join us on the dark side of radio. For
Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Agora Underground. Thank you for tuning in. We are live here on the Voluntary Virtues Network every Saturday, 8 to 9 Central Standard Time. I am Comrade Dick, your host.
And I'm Darren Hernandez. What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, yes, yes. We are back in Alamo Town after taking a little adventure up to Austin last week.
Yeah,
and
that was pretty interesting, right?
Was great.
Yeah.
Had a blast hanging out with the crew from here in San Antonio, going up to Austin, having everybody meet and greet, having great speakers,
and a little bartering, a little trades.
Exactly.
Seeing the products, some of the anarchists out there, and the Agoras, all the entrepreneurs, taking it to the men, no regulation, no licensing,
Nope.
It was great.
None of
And Catherine Blige, oh man, she had a really powerful speech that day, and it was great seeing all the speakers there.
Yeah, we posted that. We posted links to her stuff. Definitely check it out, as well as check out all the great shows here on the Voluntary Virtues Network. Everyone's kicking butt, fighting the state every day. This is, a war for the hearts and minds of the people, and that's what we're effectively doing here, ladies and gentlemen. And Darren, you brought up, entrepreneurial black market activity, the Agora, and that's exactly what we're going to get into a little bit today. As we've been talking, we finished up the primer, the Agora's primer, and getting into Mises Institute, their critiques of Agorism. So it should be interesting. We definitely invite y'all to crack open the brew and join in on the on this journey that we're about to endeavor upon.
Yeah. Oh man, definitely try out some hopscotch. It is definitely a really tasty beer.
We'll have our own brew out pretty soon. But
yeah, definitely.
The triple hops,
Anarcho hops.
Yeah, Anarcho hops. Well, basically, I printed this document out. This is on the Mises' website. You just type in Konkin on libertarian strategy. Apparently, Murray Rothbard had an article that he wrote back in 1980, back in the day, that just got rehashed over and over again here on the Mises Institute. I believe so. I mean, they keep referencing Rothbard writing this, so I don't know exactly when he wrote this. It doesn't say. Obviously, it wasn't April 6, 2009. That would have been, over 10 years past his death. So,
it's from the grave.
Yeah, who knows right now? But don't know exactly where it's from, as far as the date and all that. But it's his critique of Konkin's critiques of Rothbardianism. So we'll see what's up with this. He starts off, it's good to have the New Libertarian Manifesto, the NLM, in more or less systematic form for assessment and criticism. Until now, the Konkin vision has only been expressed in scattered potshots at his opponents, often me. It turns out that Sam Konkin's situation is in many ways like the Marxists. All right, already starting off with the attacks, right?
Yeah, already.
That's like 2 or 3 attacks right there. But anyway, we'll keep going. Just as the Marxists are far more cogent in their criticisms of existing society than in setting forth their vaporous and rather absurd vision of the communist future, so Konkin is far more coherent in his criticism of the existing libertarian movement than in outlining his own positive agoric vision. This, of course, is not an accident. For one thing, it is far easier to discover flaws in existing institutions than to offer a cognitive, I guess is what he's trying to say, alternative. And secondly, it is tactically more comfortable to be on the attack. I mean, that's a true statement nonetheless. I mean, this happens a lot with like Rothbard brought up, the communists. You talk to communists every day, and all they can do is try to criticize your beliefs, and they never offer any other any belief in substitute for it. Like,
if any of y'all ever had to debate or even argue with the communists, you're up for a little challenge getting through some information. I mean, you can go at it all day long, and still it seems like it's just hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm gonna here quick. We actually got Cuddy coming in too. Him and I do a show on Wednesday. He should be joining us pretty soon, so that'd be great.
The Truth Exposed Radio. Yeah.
But you were saying right now that talking to commies gets frustrating, right? I mean, talking to people.
I mean, it definitely does. Like, it's
what
just
would you say is the most frustrating thing? I mean, not to go too much into it, but
the aspect of money.
They think it's evil, right? The source of evil and corruption and the source of all vice and malice in the world.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's definitely something that we should probably check out as well. Eventually down the line, we'll get to it. You know, some stuff on money. We'll read some stuff on money. Some great, some of the Bastiat, what is money? Let's see here. So this first section here, the Konkin alternative. They're going to critique the Konkin's alternative. In this particular case, Konkin is trying to cope with the challenge I laid down years ago to the anti-party libertarians. Okay, what is your strategy for victory of liberty? I believe Konkin's agorism to be a total failure, but at least he has tried, which is to his credit, and puts him in a class of head of his anti-party conferers, who usually fall back on fasting, prayer, or each one finding ways to become a better person, a better and more peaceful person, but none of which even begins to answer the problem of state power and what to do about it. So before I comment on Konkin's criticism of current libertarian institutions, I would like to take up his agoric alternative. First, let's see what the first flaw is. First, there is the fatal flaw, which not only vitiates Konkin's agoric strategy, but also permits him to evade the whole problem of organization. This is Konkin's astonishing view that working for wages is somehow non-market or anti-libertarian and would disappear in a free society. Konkin claims to be an Austrian free market economist, and how he can say that a voluntary sale of one's labor for money is somehow illegitimate or unlibertarian passive understanding. Furthermore, it is simply absurd for him to think that in a free market of the future, wage labor will disappear. Independent contracting, as lovable as one might be, independent contracting, right, as lovable as some might see it, is simply grossly uneconomic for manufacturing activity. The transactions cost would be far too high. It is absurd, for example, to think of an automobile manufacturing conducted, an assembly line conducted by self-employed independent contractors. Now, Rothbard, in his typical really sly fashion, mixed two things in here, one of which Konkin actually said, and the other he didn't. Konkin never said that working for wages is anti-libertarian, even though Rothbard alluded to that fact. Konkin did say, however, that wage labor might eventually one day disappear in the future Agora. And Konkin simply envisioned a world of, like Rothbard brought up here at the beginning, I'm sorry, at the end, about independent contractors, right? This is what Konkin outlined in his New Libertarian Manifesto, was the idea that in the future everyone would basically be rated on their skills and their abilities, and and you would be hired by people on the whim at the moment. It wouldn't be an hourly wage, right? You would be paid by the job. You would be paid for the duty of what you did. It wouldn't be as mundane as it is clock in, clock out, as we have, the system we have nowadays.
Yeah, yes. Sometimes in just even the minimum wage areas where people work, like they're doing a job that actually requires you would get paid more.
Yeah.
Like I remember having to work at the wash tub and being out there all day in 100-degree heat or 90, and just having that blazing sun, and just the physical demand for that job wasn't $7.25. It was like, I can honestly say it could have been like a $9 an hour job.
Well, I mean, you're getting into a good point there. I mean, that's up for debate as far as like how much how much work is actually valued at. But I see what you're saying.
Maybe about you get like 25, 30 cars every 30 minutes. And then having to open the door, greet the customer, then move whatever junk is in the way, like in the seats, to vacuum. And then you vacuum it all, like you gotta get it spotless, you gotta get in the cracks, you might get yourself.
No doubt.
And then you gotta take it, like it just.
No doubt. And Derry, I don't want to get into a debate about this at the moment, but.
Yeah.
But wages do depend. You're right. In one sense, there is a disparity, and we would attribute this mostly. Austrians would attribute this mostly to the inflation cycle. Inflation of money caused by the printing cycle, right? The business cycle that they inflate. But on the other hand, wages are determined by your skill set. The amount of how many people are eligible to doing this job, right?
Yeah.
If you got a million people competing for that same job, then it's like, well, you can probably go a lot lower on wages than you have 2 people competing for the job.
Okay. Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I kind of get there.
But not that I'm saying that you didn't. If you felt that unequalness, that was probably we would probably attribute it to being systemic in the whole.
Well, I think I was a little overqualified for the job because I was a detailer for it was a car lot salesman.
Yeah.
My bad, kind of had a brain fart there.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, so car lot salesman, you were a detailer, and
then I went to go work for them, and it was kind of like they had a McDonald's set up, like, oh, we're going to the.
Oh, okay.
It's like, well, told you I was a detailer like twice before this.
Yeah. So in that case, right? I mean, basically what Konkin brought up is in the case of a car detailer in the future, right, with Bitcoin and with contracts being, done over the internet, and you can just go approach people once it's done. I mean, all these factors eventually get rid of wages in the sense that you're getting paid by the job. I mean, essentially, you're getting paid for, hey, hey, you work on this for 8 hours for me. You said you're an electrical welder. You weld all this stuff. For per day, I'll give you $500, whatever the heck. And then I mean, you can break down the hours, I guess, and then you come out with a wage. But it's the idea of not having the clock in and clock out. I think that's what Konkin was really getting at. And we'll eventually get to the Libertarian Manifesto. We'll read that, together as a group, and we'll see exactly what Konkin was getting at. But from in hindsight, I think he was referring more to the idea, like you were bringing up before the show, the idea of having to clock in, clock out at certain times, and having all these guidelines to where a 40-hour week and all this kind of comes from, in a lot of ways, from the system itself. But we'll see how it plays out. I may be totally wrong on this. We'll see. So anyway, furthermore, he breaks down here further Rothbard against Konkin. Furthermore, Konkin is clearly unfamiliar with the fact that the emergence of wage labor was an enormous boon for many thousands of poor workers and saved them from starvation. If there's no wage labor, as there was not in most production before the Industrial Revolution, then each worker must have enough money to purchase his own capital and tools. One of the great things about the emergence of the factory system of wage labor is the poor worker do not have to purchase their own capitalist equipment. This can be left to the capitalist. Okay, well, this is interesting. Rothbard's assuming that a blacksmith that bought the furnace to melt down the steel, for example, back in the day, if he were to hire somebody for help, Rothbard is assuming that that's a wage labor. That's a wage laborer, like when he could very well be a contracted or worker, or a what do you call it when someone's an apprentice, right? Someone's learning under you or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know if those necessarily. I don't know if contracted individuals and apprenticeship falls under wages or not. We definitely these are things.
He could have, the apprentice could have just been trying to learn it so he can make money on his own.
Yeah. And another critique against that individual thing is the rise of 3D printing. Right? We're so quickly approaching the time when machines are going to be able to print. Machines themselves will be our production, our assembly line. And with one 3D printer, you can print multiple 3D printers, and then you can, print multiple things at the same time and start your factory. And it didn't really cost that much, right? Compared to how it would have cost, how much it would have cost without the 3D printer.
Yeah, and with all the regulation. all those licensing you got.
Yeah, yeah.
It would cost you a fortune and a half.
But nonetheless, yeah, exactly. It would have cost you a whole bunch. Nonetheless, he does reference a great book, F.A. Hayek's brilliant introduction to capitalism and the historians. I guess in that introduction, I haven't read it myself, but I guess he does a really great analysis of the rise of capital, how we got capital, where it came from. This is this is important. I mean, as this is something that we mentioned before when we were reading through the primer. Konkin got the idea of term of capitalism completely wrong, right? He was referencing Hodgkin, Thomas Hodgkin, who was a total socialist and didn't understand capital and what it actually meant. And all capital is, we know it's the means to production. That's all capital is. So, how does one attain capital? Like, how do you obtain a shovel? How do you obtain a guitar? Well, you got to save for it as a worker, right? That's how it always starts. It starts by saving, right? Or someone gives it to you, right? But they had to save up in order to purchase it, right? That's the whole point. So saving, we all are workers. This is what Turgot, the French economist, brought up, is that within the productive class there are two groups: the workers, right? Those that help the capitalists out are hired, either contracted or waged by the capitalist, and the capitalists are ex-workers that saved up, were saved up and bought some capital, right? Bought some capital.
That wealth to invest.
To invest and to make more. It takes money to make money, right?
Yep.
So he continues on here. Konkin's fallacious and unlibertarian rejection of wage labor, however, allows him to do several things. It allows him to present a widely optimistic view of the potential scope of the black market. It also accounts for his curious neglect of the white market. Right? So his neglect of it. So basically here, Rothbard's saying because you're getting rid of all this capital, you're making the black market a bigger deal than what it is, and you're not looking at the white market. Because you're considering the white market dismal and unimportant. And in point of fact, even though the black market is indeed important in Russia, Italy, etc., it is enormously dwarfed in impotence by the legal white market, though, however. So the Konkinian vision of the black market institutions growing, defending themselves, and thus becoming the free market anarchist society of the future collapses on this ground alone. I don't know how big is the black market nowadays. There's several studies projecting the black market to be, it's already almost at a third of the world's whole economy. I mean, they're projecting it to be, even more than that. Over half. Over half of the world's economy.
I would think of it like this. I mean, it's that because of how many governments have made the black market so,
Exactly. And even Rothbard mentioned Russia and Italy here. I mean, obviously he agrees with the Nalevo market, the left-hand market, like we read about as well, right? Different communist countries, different fascist countries, different totalitarian countries.
Like take that market underground, how they're going to take it below the white market.
Exactly. They're going to pass laws to make certain transactions illegal, and all that does is create a bigger black market. So, as we've seen, the black market is only expected to grow as tyranny continues to grow, right?
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know about it falling on that ground alone. Now, don't get me wrong. I think here Rothbard actually brings up a valid point as far as the white market goes. Konkin did, in my opinion, I've read Konkin's work and seen his stuff, and he really, he didn't really consider the white market as much in the sense of like a transition period. Why not appeal to the business owners and get them to go from white to start engaging in some gray, start engaging in some black, and then slowly move all your assets to that, right? Now, Konkin did mention it in the sense that, of course, there's, he said there's different shades of gray and different shades of black and white. Of course, there's a mixture of where you fall exactly. I mean, I know I have a white market job where it's declared by the IRS and they receive their cut, but I keep that to the war resistance minimum. I keep that to under $20,000 a year. because anything more than that, you're going to be giving the government chunks of cash.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And if there are oppressors, right? If they are oppressing and destroying the world as we know they are, why do we want to give them money to fund that? You know, that's contrary to your goal, right?
And I think a good example of that transition from white to gray and black is the legalization of marijuana. Like how in those states that have legalized it, how their economy is booming versus the people who still have it illegal. And I think that's kind of funny because it's kind of showing them like, hey, you've had it here all along. You just never even took the time to transition.
Yeah. Well, and by their economy thriving, you mean like government revenue coming in outrageous, right? Like, we got all these new taxes coming in.
Because we still have them there. We still have the government overhead. But if we didn't have them, then they'd be making.
And I don't know if you heard this, man. I mean, Colorado and Washington, they're still pot dealers there.
Yeah.
Illegal pot dealers.
He's just like,
because
I just go re-up at the local dispensary.
No, well, no. It turns out that that the dispensaries cost as much as the black market.
Oh shit!
After all the licenses, the taxes, the regulation, the red tape, you end up paying just as much as an inflated black market.
I think it really is cool because it gives your average pot dealer the advantage to actually like take his pot dealing to the next level of entrepreneurship, owning the store. And
well, they cut it down, bro. I mean, only like I don't remember the exact number. It's like 200 or something like that.
Yeah.
There's only 200 growers allowed to have a license. There's only 200 licenses out for growers. That's it. For like mass producing growers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure that's not any other choice. So.
No, of course not. Of course not. No. Yeah.
And that's why you still, like you said, you still have the regular drug dealers who's like, man, I'm not going to that shit.
I'm not going to that shit. That's all crony eyes. That's all. They're all the team now. They're trying to kick out the little man.
Yeah.
Like every other industry, right? But as far as the white market goes, yeah, okay, Konkin should have focused more, a little bit more. And of course, that was kind of implied by his writings already. He's calling for people to go into the gray, into the black market. So he's talking to business owners as well, people that are already engaging in the white. So there's really no need to bring this up. That's a given. Of course we would love people that are on the white market to engage in more black market activity. Do we hate them because they pay their taxes? No. This isn't. We draw the line at, receiving benefits and like supporting the state. We don't draw the line at, just trying to make a living, I guess. Though, I mean, at a certain point, I mean, it's like, look, John Bush brought up a good point here. Alex Jones, how many millions of dollars does that guy make? How many hundreds of thousands of dollars has that guy given to the government?
Oh man, yeah, right.
How many raids has that paid for? How many bombs has that paid for? I don't know, just food for thought. But
that's actually pretty interesting to think about with Alex Jones, especially.
Yeah. So he continues on here. He's talking about the black market still. Rothbard says, note that black markets are concentrated either in service industries or in commodities which are both valuable and easily concealed. Jewels, gold, drugs, candy bars, stockings, etc., etc. This is all well and good, but it still does not solve the problem of who will make automobiles, steel, cement, etc. How would they fare in the black market? The answer is that they don't fare at all, just as they don't fare in the independent contracting Agora. So the question is, can we have a steel mill, an iron mill, an ore harvester, anything massive like that, big production
on his own land,
on a gray market level? Do we have any examples? Well, did Apple pay any taxes last year?
I'm not too sure about that one.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. Yeah.
But fucking. It would be interesting to see how, if we can find an example, we'll definitely tell y'all next time.
I don't think there has been.
Yeah.
I don't think there has been.
Well, it hasn't even been tried.
But with projects like Free Somalia and this movement to get libertarians to Somalia, a place, a geographical location without a monopoly of force on it, without a government, and with the emergence of Bitcoin and that, I mean, it kind of seems possible for the possibility of such a thing happening. Regardless, just because you can't start off in the black or in the gray and create a massive means of production, though we have seen massive means of services produced on the black and the gray. Just simply look at the internet, Silk Road, right? That's a service itself, and that's huge. They're getting millions of people to connect, and exchange goods and services. That is a massive, service in itself. But just because we can't have an example of factory rising out of the black or the gray market doesn't mean, again, we can't have a white market factory going gray or going black, right? And that's what we're calling for. Is they're already here, right? These factories and means of production are already here. And this kind of reminds me of Ayn Rand's book, where that guy, I forgot the name of the steel company. But anyway, I mean, essentially, he's fighting the government. You can't have my steel. I took this out of the earth. I transformed it. I have the right to sell it to whoever I want at whatever price I want. Like, you can't tell me what to do with my steel. And that's what we're going to start to see happening. That's what we need to encourage as Agoras and as anarcho-capitalists, as voluntarists and market anarchists, right? We need to promote business owners, right? Our number one ally, our number one sympathizers, to come along on the ride and join the cause. That is our duty, ladies and gentlemen. Make flyers, make DVDs, pass them out to people, business owners. They're going to understand this. They're going to understand what the war that the state wages against society. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just agreeing with you, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely what we want to start seeing, the transition. I mean, and you see these people out here when you make flyers and stickers, like Marie, she made some pretty interesting stickers. I was and having to go out there, put them up for show. Yeah, out there, trade them.
Yeah, talking about stickers. Talking about stickers. Oh, we can't see that.
Did you just get that one?
No, 9/11. Yeah, that's right. We are 9/11 truthers, and because
Lie.
it was.
Lie,
Oh,
all
can't see it from back there. Nope. Yeah. I mean, it was. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. We'll expose that for sure. Anyway, so here, finishing up here where Rothbard was finishing up on the black market, he says that, except for like jewels and drugs, how are you supposed to make automobiles and steel and this and that on the black market? Well, how are we supposed to do that? Well, we ask business owners, right, that are already in the white to come join the gray and the black. That's how we do it. Right? Okay. Is that good enough for you, Rothbard?
Right. It's a simple answer like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. Done. I mean, so anyway, the point is that these fatal gaps in the Konkinian vision are linked together. By concentrating on such objects as marijuana as his paradigm of the Agora, rather than automobiles, steel, Wonder Bread, or whatever, Konkin is able to neglect the overwhelming bulk of economic life and to concentrate on marginalia. Only by this sort of neglect can he even begin to postulate a world of independent contractors or a world of black markets. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have independent contractors and black markets already, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's a reasonable attack on Konkin, right? He does focus on situations where people are bartering and trading food for survival, right, under statist communist oppression, fascist oppression, and not focusing on how can we get the, how exactly can we get the exactly how exactly can we get the black market to start producing these independent defense agencies? But you know what? You can't blame Konkin for that. There's people that are already working on that. Konkin laid down the foundation. check out Mutual Shield. Check out the Peacekeeper app. I mean, these are already Konkin's ideas coming into reality because people
Threat management.
yeah, threat management, exactly, in
Threat
Detroit,
management
free
or
Detroit.
Free Detroit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and look them up on YouTube. They're an amazing group of guys and doing it for the prices that they do, and it's amazing to see something as far as like police force, transitioning into that gray and black and providing just a private security. It's just awesome to see.
Yeah, that's in the heart of the beast.
Right.
In the heart of the beast, in the sense that I mean, a city where it's like, I guess I didn't mean beast. That would be Washington D.C. or whatever. But yeah, but I mean the heart of the beast in the sense that like
Part
it's
of the oppression of the beast. That's where it's had the most.
well, yeah, I mean, right? I mean, it's inflation. In the end, it's inflation, right? They subsidize corporations. Corporations go into certain neighborhoods. Look at Walmart. They go into certain neighborhoods, kill all other businesses, get all other businesses to get out, and everyone starts working for these massive businesses because they're all subsidized and protected by the government. And then the government pulls them out, and then everyone's left with nothing, right? You can't just start a business all from scratch.
Right next to the place.
Yeah.
You can't just. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna start up a little convenience store right here next to Walmart. The way they work.
Yeah, they shut down businesses right? They shut them down using monopolies. They shut down the real Agora, and then pull out afterwards, and all that's left is either nothing or just that one monopoly, right? I mean, this is just a horrible. How are you supposed to compete with a business that gets subsidized and gets tax breaks? And I mean, you can't really compete. That's an unequal playing ground there. And here Rothbard says that there's another vital point in this black market here hypothesis, is that Konkin's entire theory speaks only to the interests and concerns of the marginal classes who are self-employed. The great bulk of people are full-time wage workers. They are people with steady jobs. Konkinism has nothing whatsoever to say to these people. To adopt Konkin's strategy, then, would, on this ground alone, serve of a dead end for the libertarian movement. You cannot win if there is no possibility of speaking to the concerns of a great bulk of wage earners in this and other countries. I don't know about that. I mean, most people most people believe that businesses are evil and wages are bad anyway to begin with. So why not encourage people to be self-employed? Why not encourage people to be on their own?
Exactly.
Make your own thing. Do your own thing. Like form your own.
It's like make money on your own time for how many hours you want. Sell it at the price you want. Like
you gotta find you gotta find your niche.
Yeah, you gotta find your talents.
And
invest
the
in
market.
your skills. If you're not making a product, provide a service. I mean, it's actually quite. It's a long road to do to achieve something like that. But hey, you can't like to try it.
You know what's funny here? Rothbard should have caught this. I mean, he's like falling into his own. If Rothbard were to read this article, he would have critiques about it. Rothbard would critique himself because he said the steady job. He said those people that are relying on a steady. He says they are people with steady jobs. What is this? What do you mean by steady job,
Yeah,
Rothbard?
I mean, sometimes selling weeds is a steady job. Like
what? And I don't know what Konkin mean. I'm sorry. I don't know what Rothbard means by steady job. Like, does he mean like,
I work the same.
I worked for IBM for 30, 40 years, and now they're giving me a nice retirement plan. And
like, is that what a steady job is? A subsidized job? Like,
yeah, because if the corporate,
I work for the state. I've been working for them 15 years. It's a good job. It's steady. So like, yeah, I get you, man. I didn't catch that either. Like, what defines a steady job?
A steady job is anti-market when you think about it, right? There's no such thing as a steady job in the market. There's no such thing. The worker needs to learn how to adapt. Why? Because back in the day, there was people that actually like drove people around in carriages and horses and stuff. And then the automobile came out. And then guess what? If you didn't adapt to the automobile, right? If you didn't learn how to work on automobiles and you just wanted to keep with your horses, yeah, you might survive for a little bit, the transition period. You might survive for the next 5, 10 years, but after that, you're old school. You're out. You're out of the game. Where you ain't making money. Like,
I don't know. Sometimes I want to ride a horse. I think it would be interesting.
hey, man, I'm
gonna go so out the norm that everybody's gonna be driving around cars. I'm gonna be like, nope, I'm on a horse. No.
Oh, you Amish now?
Nah, yeah.
You're Amish boy.
Yeah, well, they're Agora.
No, but you know what I mean though. The demand for horses would drop dramatically.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
Meaning that the supply of people giving out horse rides needs to drop as well.
It's like
not everyone's going to be able to continue with that job.
Yeah, you'll survive up until the point where everybody starts having cars. It's like, yeah, right now only a few people have cars, but once you get to the point where everybody has a vehicle, it's like
and no one wants a horse ride anymore.
No more horse rides.
No one wants a horse ride anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, that's the problem. Like, there's no such thing as a steady job. There really isn't. Not in the market. Not in the market. I mean, who can guarantee that a corporation is going to be here next year? It's going to be here in the long run. I mean, we know that businesses fail and businesses, and rise up again. And workers. That's the main thing. That's I personally seen as the main struggle here is a lot of times we all see ourselves as workers, and this is what keeps stagnation going. This is what keeps industry from totally thriving. Is because since we see ourselves as workers, we want the government to protect our job. We want somebody to ensure that we're going to have this same job forever, right? Because we're afraid as workers to have to learn a new trade or have to adapt or have to move thousands of miles away or hundreds of miles away.
Versus if we started seeing ourselves as entrepreneurs and creators, and
doesn't matter where you go. You go where the demand takes you. You're willing to go because that's where you realize that the market's the Agora is a living creature, right? It
can't be stopped.
It involves people exchanging goods and services. It involves the interaction and the human action of all individuals collectively. I mean, what else? How much more living can you get? I mean, it's the epitome of being human, right? I mean, as far as here on Earth, I mean, yeah, you got your spirituality. We'll leave it as materialistically, humanly speaking, it's the most you can achieve. You know what I'm saying? Providing a service, providing a good for somebody, making your living off of that. That's your pinnacle as a human in the world, in the physical world.
That's human nature to take nature and transform it into something.
It's human nature to trade. Yeah. It's human nature to trade. Hey, I like what you created. I don't have that. I can't create that.
Oh, you made the wheel? Oh, I want me one of those.
I want me one of those. Can I have one?
How many elks do I gotta get for you?
Yeah.
I'm a good hunter.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it, man. I don't even know why Rothbard's slipping a little bit here. Steady jobs. Come on, Rothbard, you're messing up here a little bit. I wish he was alive. I would love to talk to the guy about this.
So what do you guys say about you critiquing? So don't worry about it. Having a critique coming up pretty shortly.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love Rothbard. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm not like I love Konkin too, and I have my issues personally with them both. Right? I mean, you're not. I don't agree with every single phrase and sentence and
if you didn't, I would have to think you're an alien or something. I mean, yeah, it's human nature just to be like, I don't know about that part.
Well, I don't know if it's human nature to do that at all. I mean, most humans like being told, like following one individual, like, hey, this person's exactly, this person's a person for me to follow. Oh, okay, cool. I don't have to think anymore.
Well, then I'm
awesome.
An alien.
All right.
Back to the business.
Back to the business here. He goes on after he made his point about that we can't speak to people that are wage earners, steady workers, if we're talking about the black market and being an entrepreneur, right? They're going to be attracted to that, even though we think that's the most thing that can. That's going to wake up people. Anyway, it is the same thing with tax rebellion. which presumably serves as part of the agoric strategy. For once again, it is far easier for someone who doesn't earn a wage to escape the reporting of his income. It is almost impossible for wage earners whose taxes are, of course, deducted off the top of the infamous withholding tax. Once again, it is impossible to convert wage workers to the idea of non-payment of taxes because they literally have no choice. Konkin's every dismissal of taxation as being, in some sense, voluntary again, ignores the plight of the wage earner. And this is where Rothbard totally misunderstood Konkin. We are all wage earners. We all live in the wage system. We all start off in the white market. For the most part, 90+% of people probably start off in the white market.
And my first job was flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Exactly, right? Very few people are like, have parents that are making grave black market activity and having their kids partake in that. That seems like a lot smaller number. Yeah. But what I'm getting at with that is like, duh, Rothbard, we all acknowledge this. All Konkin was asking people to do, this is where the shades of gray and white come in, and the shades of black and white come in, is all Konkin was asking people to do is, hey, go work your job to keep paying your bills, but start something on the gray. Start something on the black.
Make some tacos.
Make some extra money. Make some extra money. And then once you start making that extra money, right, you can start exchanging your white market hours for the gray and the black market hours.
Become your own boss.
Exactly. I mean, come on now.
You're just asking. It was telling you to do it. He's asking you to transition to become what you can be.
You know what's hilarious is this withholding tax that Rothbard just brought up. Somebody on Facebook was saying that some guy got there was a fight 24 hours ago, or 48 hours ago here in San Antonio. Undercover cops. Some undercover cop got knocked out.
Oh,
boosh!
Really? I want to see that.
Knocked out. Right? There's some bar fight here in SA, right? Where am I going with this?
Tell me.
I don't know.
You took me along for this ride.
Well, you're here, aren't you?
Yes.
No, but let's see here. We just finished talking about the black market. Well, anyway, some guy got knocked out, and Dan, there was an awesome connection here. I'm sorry, I'm seeing Cut arrive, and I kind of drew my thinking off.
Okay. And maybe he can fill us in, right? Just continue.
Oh, the withholding tax. Okay, so this guy, whatever. We end up talking about cops and whatever, and I end up expressing to him, well, hey, this is just the strategy of the state. The state's gonna show up undercover, start knocking people out, get knocked out, and then you throw a big fit about it and charge the whole city for the repairs of the guy's job, right?
Oh,
the example, they brought in the ambulance. They escorted that guy like if Obama's daughters would have gotten constipation or something like that. But the point being is that the wage earner, right, in the situation, man, I lost my train of thought again, dude.
Right, happens to the best of us.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I'm just. We ain't even got any viewers right now, and I'm still sorry because I know we're gonna have viewers eventually on the show. As far as when it gets re-uploaded and all that. But no. Point being is that undercover guy. The guy says, "Hey, I don't know why you hate government so much. Business owners are to blame too. They treat people bad." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, do they work there voluntarily?" And he's like, well, they're disrespectful to them. And I'm like, well, do they work there voluntarily or not? And then he brought up the audacity of, well, they don't pay them for 1 or 2 weeks. What? And I'm like, bro, that ain't the business that's doing that. That's the government, bro. They're doing that because it's getting your taxes off your labor, right? Unless you're self-employed, unless you're a contractor, right, where you pay your taxes at the end of the year when tax time comes around, tax season comes around, April comes around.
What do you have to say about that?
Oh, nothing.
He's like,
but the business owner.
Man, some people.
But yeah, I understand what Rothbard is trying to say here, as far as like, especially in the 80s, 70s, 60s, that time frame, switching through to this new technological computer age. You can see how it would be almost nearly impossible to get this going if you don't have the means to communicate with people around the world, if you don't have internet, if there's no digital currency, if there's no 3D printers, like these things like make it really hard to get this Agora going. But once you realize what we have now is, this type of society, we can all become self-employed. We can all become our own entrepreneur. We really can, and they can become micro markets everywhere, which would be a beautiful thing. That's my point. That's the point I wanted to get into. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool, man.
I kind of went around a ruse there with the cops.
I appreciate the spiel. I'm pretty sure the viewers will like it too. It's interesting. Interesting conversation there.
So, oh, we got Cud coming in here.
Oh, special guest.
Special guest coming in right in the middle, Cud. If you want.
Hold on, man.
If you want. If you don't, we'll throw the chair over there towards you. But that's up to you. Come on in. Yeah, you guys remember Cuddy from last week at the up in Austin.
Okay.
He was at the Breaking Books.
He was.
Yeah, coming in
We
with
were.
I was there.
Coming in with the stone.
Stone.
Got the resin up in the fridge too. Craft brew, guys. If you guys don't drink craft brew,
Something wrong with you.
I don't even know how you can even call yourself an anarchist.
I just turned the old schooler on right now. He was drinking some BS, and I said, hey,
some of that Bush.
I said, try one of these Ruinations, man. He was like, oh, this is so tasteful. And I was like, yeah. Boy, I better get up off that water.
I got some too in the fridge, so we'll throw it down here in a sec.
Cool. What y'all talking about?
But we're reading the Mises Institute critique of agorism, bro. It's pretty hardcore. And here Konkin Rothbard's about to say a pretty epic phrase here. Am I afraid? Or he says, I am afraid, indeed, that there is only one way to eliminate the monstrous withholding tax. Dare I speak its name? It is political action.
Dun, dun,
Dun. Oh, you know what? As Agoras, we're not against you trying to politically trying to change the system. I mean, if you want to spend money and vote and do that, go for it.
You're doing it voluntarily.
Yeah, you're doing it voluntarily. Go vote for Ron Paul you want. You know what I'm saying? We're just realizing, hey, we want to spend our resources and our time on our own production and creation, and changing of the world, our own molding. So, you want to try to mold it through somebody else, through the political action group. We don't care. Whatever. We're not going to judge you. You know what I'm saying? We do call you non-agorist, right? You're not an agorist, but
because that's not free.
That's not free, but you might be an ANCAP. You might be an ANCAPist. I mean, you might be a Rothbardian. That's cool too. We're Rothbardian too. We just realize that the state's a parasite and a criminal class, and you can't join the mafia to try to change the mafia. You're gonna end up getting your
you get whacked.
Yeah, you're
gonna end up getting whacked.
You're gonna end up getting whacked. You're gonna end up in the back of
with the fishes.
Yeah. You're gonna end up in the back of a trunk with the car at the bottom of the lake, bro. Like you done. Like.
What were you thinking?
What are you thinking saying that? So, I mean, it's just, that kind of brings up the inconsistencies in Rothbard at this point here, where he thought that political action, that he thought that voting and partaking in Robert's rule of law of parliamentary politics, right, of debating and then voting and all this was actually a means to having a change. And it might be a good gauge. It might be a good way of finding out how many people agree with your ways of thinking, depending on how many people voted for somebody. But other than that, the system isn't going to allow itself to be voted out. Right? If voting changed anything, it would be illegal. Right? Mark Twain. Amy Goldman, like, man, she requoted that too. So.
The system's not gonna let you change the system.
I have a buddy who thinks that right now.
It's not who vote that counts. It's who counts the votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a buddy doing that right now. He's going to SAC for political science. Wants to be a senator.
Oh, wants to change the world.
He wants to bring change to America.
Bring change.
Yeah, I told him, good luck.
The best he can do as a senator is fucking filibust. That's about it. Pull a cruise. Filibust for 3 hours and then implement Obamacare right afterwards.
Just say no to everything and then
Just drop the
give
bomb
in to
right
the
there. That's the magic word.
So yeah, we've just been breaking that down. We got 9 minutes. 9 minutes here, guys. You guys want to just circle jerk for the last second?
So you want to circle jerk around?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like,
I've never.
just talk about what we're doing here on the personal life. We can finish. Well, it's gonna take a couple episodes to finish that article. I mean, the Mises Institute. I can't believe it didn't further think. We already found a couple of fatal errors, dude, in their thinking, bro.
Yeah.
And Mises Institute, unfortunately, is trying to make the New Libertarian Manifesto and Agorism look like it's like child's play or something. Like, oh, these people don't know about economics. These people don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you gotta read what Rothbard was saying about Konkin. It was pretty funny.
But other than that, you know, we don't agree. And like we were saying earlier, like Rothbard's shit, man. I was reading his Man Economy to State. Talk about breaking down economics point by point, step by step. Like you read that, you read that's a scholarly academic book. That's like a college grade level book. You can school any economic teacher, left and right.
You left him right with them.
Down in the middle, anybody. I don't give a hoot. But you know,
Well, is that there?
Yeah, what did Rich say? We're circle jerking right now.
But what else? What else is new? What do y'all think about the Ferguson riots? The Missouri riots. What's going on with that? What's the AMCAP? What's the Agora's response to that? Keep rioting?
No.
Defend.
No,
You're playing into the state's hands. It's COINTELPRO.
Yeah, you're breaking businesses that
It's,
have nothing to do with the
order out of chaos.
Go riot at the police station.
Yeah, why don't you go loot their shit?
Get down!
Yeah.
Show up with some AKs at the police station, and we'll show up. Give us like a week to show
arrest
up.
the cop that did it yourself.
We'll show up after you show up.
No, but seriously, like.
We'll show up after you get taken away.
No, but seriously though, I mean, it's like don't go stealing a whole bunch of Twix bars and like Monster drinks. Come on now, like.
How is that helping him out?
Did you see the article where the protesters are actually now protecting the businesses?
Yeah. Well, they woke up. They started looking online, and they're like, "We look like a bunch of dumbasses."
Well, it also could be COINTELPRO destroying everything.
That's another point. Just because you see 30 guys run into a store, that doesn't mean those 30 guys speak for the whole community.
And they're all black with their pants sagging. I mean,
yeah.
The government can pay people to sag their pants. To go and burn shit down.
Isn't that so
someone
like
paid the camera
2004?
guy to go and be like, "Hey, y'all sag your pants and look this thug as hell and walking out of the store with your arms full of stuff."
Just a good way to. And then you notice when the stores are getting rioted, the police didn't even try to grab any. The cops just drove in circles. Like there's video, people running out the store, all these people running out, and the cops are just like, woo, woo, oh, we don't know what to do. They're just driving in circles, like they're not even trying to get anybody.
It's because they're trying to make them all look like trying to give it all a bad rap.
No, check this out. Check this out. Check this out, guys. And check this out, guys. Check this out, guys. Check this out, guys. If the government were to stop people for stealing, which they never do,
yeah.
What would that be a representation of? Wouldn't that basically be saying you own your property and someone took it?
Yeah, they can't perpetuate that idea.
Yeah, they can't perpetuate property rights.
Yeah, because they're stealing.
Yeah.
So they have to let that go.
They have to let it go. Have to. It's not a crime, in fact. They needed it more than you did. You're a rich bastard that has all these Twix bars.
Yeah.
You had about...
You're slinging Twix bars
Yeah, you're slinging Twix off the wazoo. You're sending your kids to college off of it. You can't tell me these people you can't have a right to a couple of Twix bars?
It's like, man, you could have just asked me. I would've
Yeah, you
gave
could.
it to you.
I might have given it to you, but even if I didn't, I don't know if you had the right
that's
to
the
take
problem,
them.
too,
Like,
right? There was no asking. Like,
If we all just lived in a world where we could just ask,
yeah,
and we could take something.
yeah. Then I could decide out the the willingness in my heart, the goodness in my heart. Oh, I think you deserve some Twix bars.
right? That's like no, straight up. That's straight up. That'd be like that's like akin to like a like I don't mean to like get the airwaves like on fire here, but it's like a rapist going up to a girl instead of raping her straight up and beating her. It's like, hey, you want to get down tonight? No, you should have just fucking asked.
Just
Like
asked.
you could just. Nowadays, most girls would be like, all right. Like I mean, you buy them a couple of drinks, they're good. Like. It's just ridiculous, but how easy it is. But I mean, do you really have to rape anymore? Like, as far as stealing goes,
really
I mean,
just not take things.
yeah, I mean, as far as stealing goes, people are eating like, like yoga mats. People are eating yoga mats like in McDonald's, like, and like
Subway.
In Subway, it's like, like really government, you have to steal. Like, you can't just like make some other crappy product that everyone can buy. I mean, really? Like, I mean, people are dumb enough to buy it. So I mean, it's like, come on now. Like, I mean,
McDonald's.
Mac and D.
Mac and D.
Poisons.
McDeffies.
We got Chiquito, the mascot for here at SA.
Don't tread on me.
Don't tread on me. He's packing though. He's packing.
But yeah, doesn't have a license to carry because he's all black. and
Open
white.
carrying.
Yeah,
Open
he's
carry.
open carry.
Open carrying. That's why. he's like Gizmo. He reminds me of Gizmo. Like,
Don't feed him.
don't feel him after midnight.
Don't feed him, man. The D come out.
Yeah.
You feed him, and then he'll feed you the D.
Yeah. Yeah. Make me a sandwich.
Yeah.
D sandwich.
Hey, what do we have planned for tonight, guys?
We're gonna go downtown, record some stuff.
Beginning up the main streets.
Yeah, at least do something. If not, just hang out here, get drunk, pass out on the drum set. I don't know.
That's on the drum set.
The sharp edges there look comfortable.
We're gonna fuck something up.
No, yeah, but we gotta hit the streets. We're gonna hit the streets. We're gonna get some stuff up. We highly suggest you guys download this, print it out, this article, read it up, read the New Libertarian Manifesto by Samuel Konkin, read Rothbard's writings. I mean, become an entrepreneur, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're here. That's why we're encouraging you to become the best you that you can be. I mean, and this isn't the army, right? We're not asking you to sign up and give your life away, but you can be the best you.
Sign your life away to your own life.
Yeah, to you. And that way you can give it up to any god you want. You can give it up to anybody you want. That's your choice. Your time is your choice. Your energy is your choice. Your labor is your choice. And we just do appreciate you guys for tuning in as usual.
Yeah, and if we have any new viewers joining us and just seeing this one episode for the first time, we do encourage you to check out our other videos as we read through the Agora primer.
Yeah, we read through that.
Yeah, so
First 5 episodes.
If you haven't seen the first 5, we suggest you go ahead and go see that. And keep it real, people. Thanks for joining us.
Check out stuff on YouTube. Just keep researching the stuff. Keep and pushing it. Find the way people you can get in with somebody. Everyone's got a different angle, the way they think, the way they see the world. Find the way that they see it. Be patient with them. Don't be harsh. Don't be quick to judge and quick to splat out the answer.
Yeah, be the change you want to see in the world.
Answer a question with a question. Be Jewish about it. Be a little Jewish about it. So save your money. Save your money. You know what I'm saying? Save your money. Invest. Capitalize. Become a producer. And we love y'all. We're here on the Voluntary Virtues Network, Agora Underground, live every Saturday.
Yeah.
And
thanks for tuning in and watching us, and anybody who is going to watch us, and keep up for our new episodes coming up.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be back next week. Check out the great shows here on the Voluntary Virtues Network. Appreciate y'all. Agora, anarchy, action, motherfuckers.